Rebecca.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
This is locker room, right?
Yes, it's Locker Room. And you can join the conversation by sending us messages through WhatsApp to 0809444091 on Twitter.
On Twitter, we're at Smooth981FM. Use the hashtag LockerRoom981. And if you want to see Tega being quite violent this morning towards Valentine, you might want to go onto our YouTube channel where we're streaming live. YouTube is Smooth981FM. You get to see all the action. And some things that sound weird when you're listening, it's because we're reacting to something you cannot see. So if you want to see, go on YouTube.
It'll make sense then. So the NBA has banned Golden State Warriors investor Max Stevens for one season and has fined him $500,000 after the team executive shoved Toronto Raptors guard Kyle Lowry and repeatedly cursed at him during Game 3 of the NBA Finals at Oracle Arena. The ban is effective immediately, includes all Warriors team activities, and will carry through the 2019-2020 season and postseason, according to the league statement yesterday. And the statement, part of the statement reads, a team representative must be held to the highest possible standard, and the conduct of the Golden State Warriors investor Max Stevens last night was beyond unacceptable and has no place in our league. As for the review of this matter, it continues, Mr. Stevens will not be permitted to attend the NBA games.
Yes. I want to say this is great. But the great news is that it came down swiftly. Because the bad behavior took place on Wednesday night. By Thursday, the ban was there. It was swift. If he didn't put money in Golden State Warriors, I can almost guarantee it would have been a life ban. But what it is, I mean, you sit in courtside, the least you can do, behave yourself. We talk about how Drake is just there, always shouting, making noise, taunting the players, and that's it. But you're shoving a player because your team
That's just too much.
is not doing well. You've attacked the player.
Yeah.
I'm Kalari. I'll be like, he's an investor.
Mm-hmm.
NBA, don't shout. I will sue him myself.
For assault.
Yeah, that's what it is. Because I mean, $500,000 is what he spends on Friday night, probably. Why he won't dent anything? He's still going. That $500,000 he's going to make it from Friday night or alone as an investor. So why did they? I mean, come on. But he makes a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of baby food. Those guys make good money. But he's been banned for 1 year. That means if Golden State Warriors are going to visit a hospital or a school, he can't go. Every single NBA activities involved in the Golden State Warriors, community service, the games, whatever it is, he's cut out of it. Good one. I like the fact that it was swift. That's my own.
On vacation.
Yeah, just okay, you can watch on TV like the rest of the guys. And those kind of things hurt them because sometimes they even take like a group of people and say, let's go and watch the team and putting money into. It's a status thing. Because sometimes you also did for business. Right. You say if you invest in my company, this is also there's some perks you get. None of that anymore.
Bragging rights stripped.
Yeah,
Stripped.
Stay in your house for your bad behavior.
All right, okay. But can he still invest though? Can he still put?
He can put his money. He just can't come. They'll take your money.
Your money is not suspended. You are suspended.
Yeah, your money is not suspended.
All right. So Super Falcons can reach knockout stage, says Denny B. The 2019 FIFA Women Cup takes off today. Yeah! France is the host facing South Korea, while the Super Falcons will open their Group A account with Norway tomorrow. So speaking on the Super Falcons' chances, Coach Thomas Denby submitted saying, our ambition is to get to the last 16 at least. We know that Norway is a good tournament team. They have a good record, but they're not at the same level as they were in the 90s. So we must believe we have a chance. I hope that we can do that and get through to the round of 16, then win one more game.
I like the way he's talking because after Norway beat South Africa by 7-2 just a few days ago, my heart is beating very, very fast because I remember how we played against South Africa and how much of a struggle it was to beat them. So when I see the Norway side, this is without Ada, and it was 7 goals. They scored 7 goals. I know they conceded 2, but you have to remember that they scored 7. So I'm a bit afraid, and that's the first game, and it is tomorrow. It's not like we have time to cry about it, gym for it, pray about it, fast about it. It's too late now. The match is tomorrow. But I'm so excited for the FIFA Women's World Cup this year. Everything has been going according to plan. I mean, the only team I don't think has really made so much noise are the Cameroonians. But then again, they don't make their noise off the pitch. They get on the pitch, and do
Action.
and do
I like
what they
that.
need to do.
Yeah.
But I mean, tickets, the amount of tickets sold out, the commercials, the money that is. I mean, how we say women's sports whenever women's football can't sell. It's not football. Yeah, it's sold out, and there's so much money now being invested in women's football. Billboards in some countries in Europe, billboards everywhere supporting the women's team. Investors putting their money in this match because there are many people that are going to be watching now. I'm really impressed with where the football is going. So I can't wait this evening for France to take on South Korea. And it's such an interesting game for to start off the tournament with France versus South Korea. So I'm really excited to see this. I'm hopeful about results. I like the way the coach has come in with some motivation, and the girls are putting their best. I'm not saying the Super Falcons are a bad team. I'm just saying compared to the counterparts, to the opposition they have to face, it's a tough ask. It doesn't mean it's impossible. Probably improbable, but not impossible. So let's see how it goes.
Is there, or are there any chances at all of us bringing back the cup?
Once you have involved in the tournament, you have chance. It's just that your chance may be 1 million, 1 in 1 million.
Is it 1 in 1 million?
Yes, like that. I cannot lie.
All right, let's continue. For more stories here on Locker Room, please send us messages with your reactions to the stories and your observations, your comments, really. 0809 444 0981 is our WhatsApp number. Novak Djokovic hailed the dominance of the top 4 ranked players at the French Open as he joined longtime rivals Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer in the semi-finals. Djokovic said, "It speaks about the quality of the tournament and the quality of the top 4 players that reached the last 4. I think it's great to have the top 4 players competing in the semi-finals at the biggest event because it brings out or even more rivalry, more importance to those matches and to the tournaments in general."
Yes, it's the biggest thing that happened in men's tennis. The top 4 are the final 4. So Roger Federer takes on Rafa Nadal today, and then Djokovic takes on Dominic Thiem, supposed Prince of Clay. And guy that was kicked out of the press conference hall. But it is such a fantastic matchup. You can't wait to see it. And of course this is Clay. So if you ask me, like I said before, I'd say Rafa Nadal over Roger Federer every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Nice.
He won this tournament 11 times for a reason.
You mean for to take the
to take the match.
To take this
To take this head to head.
Yeah.
Rafa Nadal, Roger Federer, it looks more like Rafa Nadal. I mean, think about their head to head. I think Rafa Nadal has won 23 times, Roger has won 15 times.
Well, you know who I'm supporting.
You can root for who you want. Just root for them when they lose too. That's all we are saying. but for the men, it's really a tough one. So Roger Federer, Djokovic and Dominic Thiem, another classic rivalry. Dominic Thiem has actually beaten Novak Djokovic before, so there's also that opportunity for him to do it again. So it's very interesting. I can't wait to see the outcome of this. For me, it's even much more than the result it's much more than the result for me. It's how they will play and how interesting it will be and what each person will force his opponents to do. So interesting matchup. On the women's side, there is blood on the dance floor. Like, these young girls have no chill. A 17-year-old beating the world number 1, like the world number 1 was like amateur. That's exactly how Anisimova beat Simona Halep yesterday. And then you look at the names and the quarterfinals. It's not names on a normal day you expect to see at the last stages. So 1 minute it looked like Simona Halep had the best of chance to defend her title. The next minute she's out, and then Ashibati. Now, if you ask me, of all the 4 women left in the draw, Ashibati looks like she's going to be the one to win it. But that's what I said about Simona, and so she's out. So I can't, with women's tennis, I can't bet any of my money on it because I will lose. So I just sit down and enjoy how they take each other out.
I was going to say, surely that makes for more interesting watching, because it's not predictable.
Yes, it's not predictable, but it's also viewing. I mean, think of a final that is Anisimova versus Vendrosa. So you're looking at them and you're like, who are these people? And if you want to put money in it, you're like, who are they? So in as much as they're interesting and it's exciting, sometimes the names also
Yes.
attract
The
the crowd.
Williams final is always entertaining.
Saka final is always entertaining. No, sometimes it's not just about Serena, but all these random people like Yenela Ostapenko that came and won 2 years ago. Now we can't find that. We're looking for her with microscope. That's how it is.
Let's look closely enough. After this break, we'll be back for more stories inside of the locker room.
Federer for the win!
Okay.
Nadal for the win!
Federer for the
What is the match again
win!
today?
I don't even care.
What's the match?
If
Today.
Today.
I don't even care who is winning. I don't even know. I think they'll start at 12, but I don't know when exactly.
We are winning to bring the trophy home. Ooh. Federer's winning.
I don't even care who wins. I just want to enjoy the fight.
Me too.
Because I think that Roger Federer has beaten Nadal too much recently for it not to be in his head. But this is clay. Nadal's tennis fits this place where Roger Federer doesn't know how to hustle. He's a pretty boy.
He's a gentleman. I thought about pretty boy next.
Oh yes, we're talking about pretty boy.
Pretty boy. Can you guys guess who the pretty boy we're talking about is? So we're going to be talking about a certain the prettiest boy in sports.
I'm telling you, he's pretty.
Wow.
My mom just said, "Why does he look like a girl?" I said, It's the questions that you need to ask him himself. But he was very pretty last night. Huh? He wasn't. Who wasn't pretty last night?
He's another director.
Louis Hamilton.
I should look up his
He's very pretty.
press conferences.
Okay.
No, Fisher is not pretty. He's handsome. Louis Hamilton is pretty. He's like
Yeah,
pretty
we
girl.
want him to come now.
We'll invite him now.
His face. My mom was just looking at him like, this guy looks like a gay. He will be alright though. Don't let him hear it. He's pretty.
Or download the app from your app store and let your money work for you. I invest where money never sleeps. Powered by.
Now, wow, Obama is just chilling and making stupid money.
Yes.
So Spotify has now signed himself and Michelle Obama for a podcast.
Very
Huh?
smart guy.
I'm telling you,
Before he got into politics, he was making his money from writing.
this
Because
guy,
his legal practice wasn't making him
this
money.
guy just wasn't he a lecturer?
No.
He was a lecturer now. Was a teacher. I just like the guy. Like he can't do anything wrong. You understand? He can't. He could kill a baby right now, and then he'll come out and say, "What really happened was." Everybody will be like, "He didn't do it." They saw it, so he didn't do it. I wonder how he feels sometimes when he wakes up in the morning and walks into rooms. Does he go, I'm going to floss this? Barack Obama.
Okay.
Does he wake up in the morning and look, I'm going to floss this? Or does he wake up in the morning and say, how do I actually do this? Does he doubt himself? Does he question that he's not going to be welcome in a place or loved in a place? I don't think so, because
Obama.
yeah.
When I read Becoming by Michelle Obama, there's something she emphasized several times in the book that Barack Obama, the way his makeup, right? He runs towards trouble. Remember that young quote I said that day? He passion and challenges ignites.
No, but that's not what I'm talking
So it
about.
excites
Yeah,
him.
my point is that
What?
this is not about his character.
It's about his persona.
There's a way he just walks in.
His
Everybody
carriage,
likes
yeah,
him. Yes.
Yeah. And it has nothing to do with his frame.
Yeah.
It's about his demeanor.
He's not like Bill Clinton. You knew that people wanted to sleep with him. Like he had the sex appeal.
Yeah.
But Obama is not. It's not sex
No,
appeal. It's not. It's just.
a power.
it's
It's
just-
a command.
it's just-
Yes.
I'm going to ask him that question.
Let's go on there. Tiger has a big crush on Obama.
No, I don't.
Obvious. Studio.
No, I
Mics are
don't.
up. We're live. Check the time. It's 8:30, and you're listening to The Locker Room. It's a part of Smith Breakfast with me, Valentine.
And I am Mairo-Ese.
And we've got Tega, as always. Tega Supreme, Tega Tiger, Tega the Fighter. More stories.
No, right. But let's take some comments. Reacting to the story that we just took with regards to tennis, Djokovic should stop running in his mouth. He is now in semis, talking hard when all he has been playing against guys that made it to Roland Garros through wild card. Nadal to win his 12th title on Sunday, says Lukman from Ijebode.
Thank you, Lukman.
What did
Nathan
Djokovic
Joko on
say
Twitter said, so why were the English fans booing Van Dijk? So to think that he and his Liverpool teammates brought glory to their overhyped league. Said the light showed class and supreme maturity yesterday for his age, something those young overhyped English players lack. It's coming for them.
And then Chijoke Izundu says, where does Mr. Federer get his motivation? He turns up in every Grand Slam hungry as a rookie. Legends don't know what they can when they are beat. Consistency is a rare currency in the women's tennis. All right, thanks very much. All right, let's go on to some pretty boy news. Lewis Hamilton excited for Ferrari and Red Bull battle at Canadian GP Grand Prix. Now, Lewis Hamilton says he's ready and excited for a close battle at the Canadian Grand Prix, insisting that both Ferrari and Red Bull have the tools to trouble Mercedes this weekend. He said, being that you do have these long straights, I'm trying to talk like him. You know that the Red Bulls and the Ferraris in particular are going to be really strong this weekend. Hamilton, the championship leader, said, I'm excited for that fight.
Yes, and he's all right on the straights. Ferrari have been the fastest, and but Mercedes can close up the gap in corners. Also with the corners, again, Red Bull have some strength. So the what I want to call it now, the track at Montreal is a combination of everybody's strength, and so if you're looking at it, you think, okay, this is where there can really be a tough battle for all constructors. But if you ask me again, when it comes to reliability and team strategy, Mercedes are just a little bit ahead of not a little bit. They are very much ahead of everybody else, and that's where the battle will be. And I like the way Luis talks when he's in the press room. Like, I really welcome these battles. Then he gets into his car and says, Bono, I can't move. Bono, my tires are dying. Stop. He talks stuff in the press conference and then cries in his car. But let's see how it goes. This weekend is another chance to enjoy another interesting race. Like the Red Bulls go about the business very easily. Christian Horner doesn't brag too much. Verstappen doesn't talk too much. He just kicks people off the track a lot. But so I want to see how that Red Bull Mercedes battle fight turns out, because I don't have any hopes at all for Ferrari.
Really?
They've been disappointing in 6 races. They're not going to change today.
Oh boy.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. Let's talk about Gareth Southgate. He says England will still play out from the back despite the costly errors. Now, Gareth Southgate says England will still play out from the back despite the 2 costly errors in the Nations League semi-final defeat to the Netherlands. In his words, and I quote, I think we need to play out better. The last goal is an element of fatigue. Ross had gone down with cramp just before, and when you're fatigued, errors happen. So I do not think it's a case of stopping what you're doing. He continues to say there are passes our players can play with absolutely no problem, but it wasn't just the 2 goals. We made errors and gave opportunities away that should have been punished before that. The Dutch pressed very well with real intensity and weren't quite as sharp as some of our decision making.
I think what most managers or what most people have lost is the plot. This idea of modern football where you have to play out from the back, play to the strength of your team. That's not England. They are not technically gifted like the rest of Europe or other parts of the world. So just play your knuckle down, route one football. Just play your football as you know it. Don't try and say, oh, because Man City and Liverpool are some of the biggest teams in Europe now and they are English teams, my players can play. These big names on those teams are not from England. So why are you playing it? I mean, think about it. The best defender in Liverpool was playing for Holland. Even if it's an English team, the least you can do is just remember that it may be an English team, but it's not English players that are bringing all the results. Exactly. So just look at the guys you have and play your football. They're not trying to play like Pep Guardiola, play from the back, and they kept making mistakes because it's not something they're familiar with, it's not something they're used to, and it's not something their players can adapt to overnight. For the Dutch, on the other hand, they're young, hungry boys, ready to go out with, they say there's I want to call it foolish kind of bravery that you have when you're young. Because you think you are invincible, or you think you have time to make mistakes and then recover. So you play differently than someone that is a little more experienced and have seen failure before. That person will play with some kind of caution.
Yes,
That young people that have never failed, let's just go.
Right.
And so the likes of Delight and the pay, I mean, those are the people that were in the team. I think Ryan Babel was one of the oldest, and he doesn't have as much influence on the team like the young guys. And so those young guys they were one goal down, but they were going out to attack. They're like, what's the worst case scenario? We either lose by 3-0 or we go out and win by 3-1, which is exactly what they did. And so they, in as much as they were one goal down, they kept playing as if they were the team with the advantage.
Wow.
And that pressing eventually resulted in a goal from a corner by Delight. Amazing. I keep saying I'm amazed by that guy's character. And then the two goals, the two errors that England made, they didn't make it because they didn't necessarily know how to pass the ball, but also the Dutch were pressing them. So they were forced to play the wrong ball, and which is what the Dutch took advantage of. So I'm impressed with what the Dutch are doing. I still think, though, in this whole UEFA Nations League tournament, Portugal has the upper hand. First of all, Portugal, they are the ones playing at home, so they are the hosts. And contrary to popular belief, they have a very balanced team. They are not, their players in other places are not excellent. In defense, they have effective players. In the midfield, they have players playing in the right position for every single position, whether it's the wings or the defensive midfield or the attack. And then, most importantly, they have Cristiano Ronaldo. He will score the goals for you.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, that's one of the most balanced teams national teams you will see in Europe. And so even if the players are not flashy, it looks more likely that that's the team that is going to win it. Because I'm not sure that the inexperience of the Dutch can hold up against Portugal. But then again, this is football. Anything can happen.
And Idris Abiodun on YouTube. By the way, we're streaming live on YouTube, so you can type Smith 91 FM Lagos and you find us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Idris Abiodun says, "Good morning, locker room guys. England football has always been pass, shoot, and follow me, and they want to play like Barca. They will always be humbled eventually, because that's how England's style. That's not England's style. Come on, Holland." He says. I just remember that's how stars do.
I know that's why that was a hold on your mind.
Messages here. This one is from Nonso.
Nonso says Tiger on fire. Spot on review. When is she not ever on fire? Tiger fire. We added another name to your name.
Thank you,
Tiger Fire.
Nonso. Send an invoice. Emma from Akoka sent in a message. He says, okay, we've actually taken this one earlier. Kingsley says, "Good morning, Valentine. Ayo and Tiger Supreme sounds more like my ice cream." It's true, yeah. So my name is PM from Ikeja. Please, I want to ask if Formula One and all the Grand Prix is a sport for car makers, because I do not understand. Thanks, and I love all the voices. Thank you very much. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Finish it, Valentine. I'm your fan. Oh.
And I'm your AC.
Wow, dry jokes
Yeah,
Friday.
Friday is fine.
All right, so let's take a story, but you answered that question, right?
Okay.
All right, so Tunisian PM, Prime Minister, hits out at CAF amid Champions League controversy. African football's leading club competition has been thrown into disarray after the announcements that its showpiece game will have to be replayed, with the Tunisian Prime Minister weighing in to call the handling of the affair a farce.
Thank you. So if you don't know the story before, the CAF Champions League was played. One team felt aggrieved, Wydad actually of Morocco felt aggrieved that one of their goals was cancelled, was ruled as offside, and it wasn't offside, but there was no VAR to review whether it was offside or not. And so the referee's decision, ideally, according to the rule of the game, should have stood. But the team got upset that the goal was ruled against them and walked off the pitch. Now, according to a FIFA rule again, if you walk off the pitch, you forfeit the match. It's that simple. And so they waited for them to come back, and then the 90 minutes ran out, and then they declared Esperance of Tunisia winners. End of story. They lifted the trophy, they went away, only for the Congress, the FIFA Congress, to be holding in France, and the CAF Congress was also meeting, and CAF decided for whatever reason that they should return the trophy and the medals and replay the game because they said there was no safety measures, that everything was not in place. But you knew an hour before the game that the VAR wasn't there. They told both captains of the team. They told everybody. So no, at least an hour before the game, because that's when Hawkeye told the people that were delivering, told them that okay, this thing couldn't come to the game. So at the end of the day, with all the rules, Esperance should be winners. But politicking will not allow Africa to be great.
So what happens now if they come back and they win again?
Esperance is not giving. They are not even handing the medals. You are telling what happens if they come back. They are holding on to the trophy and they are going to CAS. It's that simple, which is ideally what they should do. And so the Prime Minister is saying it is absolute rubbish that CAF took the decision, and I totally agree, because if we're all going to be walking off the pitch for aggrieved decisions, would have been walking off the pitch since. There's so many incidents that we can recall that shouldn't hold are held. So at the end of the day, I think CAF got it wrong, and to make matters worse, the CAF president was arrested yesterday for another shady deal with some contracts with some manufacturers. So exactly, and what FIFA is doing, is FIFA is now saying we are not aware of anything. FIFA is now clean, so we are waiting to hear from the French authorities what the problem is, and when we find out what the problem is, we'll deal with it accordingly. So they've literally thrown Ahmad under the bus. Like, we don't want you to taint us with your bad behavior. So
we survived your other
exactly. So at the end of the day, Ahmad was supposedly the breath of fresh air. He's now a stinky breath from last night. So I think at the end of the day, CAF will need to sort itself out. But let's see how it goes from here.
Somebody give him a brush. We'll be back after this.
Keep it tuned right here.
I tried to take two stories in one.
Sorry?
Well done. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the Ahmad stories. So just
and
cancel the Ahmad story.
So I have one last story.
That's it. So Neymar, yeah.
They say I just saw the MasterCard has suspended his adverts.
Yes, MasterCard. I don't know why they did that.
They don't want to be
don't want
involved
to be
in all that
yeah.
controversy.
They'll be all right. As right as it seemingly is looking more likely that he was set up. But then again, you cannot catch somebody with a pleasure they are not guilty of. You know? No. I'm saying, I'm not saying he's guilty. My point is, it's looking more likely that the girl set him up. My point is, the reason why the girl can set him up is because he likes to dabble in the. No, there are many. Contrary to popular view. Eh? No. There are many. You say there's no player. I'm saying there are many players that don't dabble. You have no. I've seen Kaká of Brazil. I've seen Kaká of Brazil. I saw Messi. No. Messi didn't get married early. Messi got his girlfriend early. When he was still dating, he even still stepped out. But since he got engaged with that girl, he didn't step out. Everybody is a Christian, 100% Jesus. He's a very Christian. Like, have you seen his mother? He's a very Christian, but he now dabbled. He said not a straight guy. Company is a Christian too. He did not dabble. That's what is injury now. You know when they are injured, they're like, what should I do with my life? Let me call Latisha from Lakwisha. He'll be all right.
Oh God.
After this, any girl that will slide into his DM, he slap, he will give the girl.
I saw. But I heard they had a secretly filmed video.
The girl set him up
Yes.
so that if he hits her in the video,
She'll
that's what
claim
I'm
rape.
saying.
So she was beating him.
So
and he was trying to protect himself.
it looks more likely like a setup, but it's.
Okay.
But whatever happens at the end of the day, there's already a scandal to your name. Do you understand?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, is it worth it?
So we may not be able to take that last story.
We have to read the headlines.
844.
Okay. How many sportsmen? Yeah, Abi? The next girl that will just do Neymar like this, he will drop kick the person.
Wow.
What? I don't want. Take your wish and go. I don't want. I'm a child of God. I'm married to Jesus. Set and leave me alone. He's not going to do again.
Okay, we're back. Studio is live.
So enjoy.
And in time to read the last few messages here on the locker room, here on Smooth 98.1. Idris Abiodun on YouTube says, Tiger, I like the way you wriggle around your match predictions, out of your match predictions by saying, but then this is football. Neymar, don't chop forbidden apple. Touch on that, guys. We see that Neymar has been ruled out of Brazil's 2019 Copa America with ankle ligament injury.
Yeah, as if his life is not hard enough. He now has this injury. Yes, one injury after the other. So I mean, he was really crying. He didn't want to miss it, but he's missing out of it, the Copa America that his country is hosting. Really sad one for him.
Special thanks to you, MI from Akoka, Sheriff Oluwaleke, Big A from Ketu, Lukman. And we can't take your messages right now because we're out of time.
All right, Lagos, we're going in for Lagos Talks 981 right now. This is the first time during the show when we open the phone line, so please get ready. But thank you very much, as always, Tega at Tega Supreme, aka Tega Fire, Tega Tiger.
Tega Spot On.
Tega Spot On. And of course, her work with ladies in sports, you can find that all about that at LIS International on Twitter. Something big is happening in July. Make sure you follow them to find out what. We're going to break right now. Lagos Talks coming up shortly. Lagos Talks 981.
It's Feel Good Friday, Lagos.